Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space. I thought I'd come on today, turn the camera on while I'm working and chat to you guys as well. So welcome to my channel if you're new. I do all sorts of art and crafts, and often my 11-year-old will come in and join me as well. She might pop in the video at some stage today. So the last few days I've been trying to get organised for this year. This year I really want to sort of be intentional with what I do, I suppose, and get organised and declutter, and yes. So what I've been doing the last few days is going through my piles of books and freebies that I've collected over the past couple of years in intentions of using them, and a lot of them have been packed away in boxes since I moved house a couple of years ago. Oops. And I thought, if I can't see them, I'm not going to use them. So what I've decided to do is quickly go through them and pull out what I will use, and the rest I'm throwing in the recycle bin. Excuse me, I'm going to have a drink. It's very hot here today. It's about 30. Let's check the weather while we're doing it. It's very humid today. We've had some thunderstorms. I'm in Victoria, and if you're in Australia, you'll know what Queensland weather is. So it's like Queensland weather here. It is stinking hot and muggy. Usually we get dry heat. We don't get humid heat. Let me check the temperature because it's hot. Last time I checked, there we go. Last time I checked, it was like 36. And it's too hot for my internet to work, apparently. Oh, here it comes. Okay, it's come down in temperature. It's 27.9, but it feels hot. Does it say the humidity? No, it doesn't. Apparently we're in for thunderstorms. So it has been thunderstorming a bit, so I apologise if you can hear that. And if it starts to rain, I'll turn the video off because I'm in a tin roof and it rained. And there comes the thunder as I talk about it. The rain's really loud. So all you need to do is harvest your, I suppose, art journaling fodder, you call it. I could put this in swaps, I could use it in art journals, I could use it in junk journals. It's just stuff that speaks to me when I go through the brochures. So I picked these up. These were free. These were from, this is Adelaide Fringe. I must have got this from Melbourne. So it's obviously from 2016, and it was like a festival magazine. This one's like a child pamphlet thing they put out. I pick up those. This one is Midsummer Festival. I have got some, we'll see how far I get. Switzerland. A while ago I went through a phase of requesting a lot of travel brochures. I think Shannon Green started me off with that quite a few years ago, and I can't really go anywhere without picking up free ephemera and such, and Alexis and I make a bit of a game out of it now, and often we have to get doubles because we argue over the bits of paper. So I'll just take you through my process of pulling out and reducing them, because these are quite thick to store. And for example, this one's over a centimetre, and I may find only 5 pages in it that I'll really use. The Eiffel Tower I'll definitely keep, so I'll put that one at the back. So we'll go through that in a minute. So this is the first one. So I love the front cover. So my process to this is quite quick. I do look at both sides before I cut it up. Now if there was nothing on the front cover, I would have cut him out because he looks really cool, and I may have cut that out as well. But I love what's on the front cover, so I'll put that aside. Next one. So let's stay in frame. So this next page, often I tear them off, so there's nothing on this page that jumps out at me. So I've got a bin down beside me, it goes in the recycle bin. So this page I like because it's just weird. I like weird stuff. So I'm going to put together, and I'll share them when I do them, I'm going to put some binders together of different pieces. So this will go on my Weird and Wonderful. So I may end up sending some of these out as happy mail. I may end up using some of them. It's just going to be a lot better to store 4 or 5 pages than the bulk item. So basically, quickly just looking for things that speak to me and jump out at me. Nothing on this page. This I quite like. So what I do is before I cut them, I always check the other side. So I quite like her. So what I'm going to do is just, sometimes I tear, sometimes I rip. Just depends. So I'm just going to roughly cut her out, and she will go into my binder to use on something. So just quickly flipping through. Now I do like the pig. I told you I like Weird and Wonderful things. So I like these images here, so I'll actually cut this in half. Not really looking for text at the moment. I can find text a lot of places, or I can use letter stickers and stuff. Mainly looking for images. So nothing on that one. I'm usually a lot quicker when I flick through them. Now this has possibilities, definitely the butterfly. So what I'll do is I'll cut it off across here. I know it's got the words in the middle. I tend to not take stuff like this, but I do like the crown and the flower and the butterfly, and I may be able to just put paint over that and make it. So you're probably going to see how my mind works today. Okay, next page. Nothing really on the back. This girl I particularly like. I'm a bit fussy with the girls that I take now because I do have quite a few. Let's just cut right here. So they have to have sort of a lot of character, or a lot of character, a lot of, I don't know, I just like her. I don't know why. Now this particular picture here I've taken before because I've got it out of, sometimes when I get these free publications, this particular ad is for a performance and it's in several editions. So sometimes I get several copies, which is quite handy. Now I love the legs and the ball, but last time this wasn't in the middle. Now I'm not sure, I will keep this one because I do like the ball. I could see myself using, oops, my cutting's not always that straight. Not looking for perfection at the moment, we're just looking for, so I can see myself using half this ball maybe instead of the whole image. As I said, the last images I got didn't have this Hello Adelaide word back, that was just, and it didn't have this writing either. So some of the ads do change, so let's go through again. So nothing on that page. Not looking for quite smaller images. The smallest ones I take is about 2 by 2 inches because I don't like working small. Nothing on that one excites me. So as we get into these, sometimes all this sort of stuff I go through quite quickly. Am I still in frame? I stop at this one because I like the bird. Now what I've got is 2 pages here that I've ripped out. I'll often keep those 2 pages together with these thinner ones because they're easy to cut. And I just spotted a ladybird as well. So basically I want the top one, bottom one I'll throw out, and that all goes in my rubbish bin I've got next to me. So let's keep going. So usually quite quick scanning, and if it doesn't spark my interest in the first couple of seconds, I don't worry about taking it because it's got to sort of, I don't know, speak to me in a way. Now this, I particularly like the way the girl looks, so I will take that page out. So when I get to this stage, I've got like 3 pages, 4 pages, and then a page I like. I will rip all of these out, take the one I like, drop the others in a bin beside me. I like this girl, how she's got her arms up, and you can see that you can use, apart from that bit, you can use from sort of here up, and you'll get a decent image. You don't want a lot of them that have got words in them and bits in them so they're all chopped up. You're wanting a decent image, so I'll keep that full page. And it's got this bonus musical thing on the back. Now I don't know which side I'll use, but I'll put that aside. So I'll just put my scissors on top of my... Okay, so this looks interesting, but they're quite small and hard to use, so that will not be. Again, this is interesting, but not, sorry, trying to stay in frame, not speaking to me like enough, if that makes sense. This year I'm more trying to get organised. I want to de-stash what I've got back to an acceptable level. There's a beautiful butterfly. Now, looking at this border, I may or may not take it. Now, it would probably look good as a good border. So, I don't particularly like the white line in it, but again, it could look quite cute. So, I'll just get rid of those back pages. So, sometimes I do take borders like this. Sometimes I don't. As I said, I wish it didn't have the line in it. That down there is probably no good, so we'll chop that bit off. So we've got sort of a border and a corner that I will put in my file. I'm not sure how I'm going to store these yet, and I will take this opposite page, just checking on the back. So yeah, this year I want to be sort of more organised, and I'm having trouble finding stuff at the moment when I want to go and craft. Like, if I want a magazine image, I don't have a collection of them in a folder to like flip through. I've got to go and flip through a magazine, and a lot of these magazines have been away in storage and I just don't know what's there. So I thought this would be a good way of, just double checking on my frame, a good way of culling down what I've got, getting more intentional and having these images accessible, and then I'll be more inclined to use them. Just going to do the whole finger lick and flip through these quite quickly. Sometimes when I get 4 or 5, I will rip it off and drop it in the bin. So these are all going in my recycle bin, so they will be recycled paper. This year I'm going to be a bit more intentional. I'm going to set up a box, I think, so when I bring things like this into the house, they'll go into that box. Actually, I do like this. They'll go into the box and be sort of processed or gone through, and if that box is full and I haven't gone through it, I can't really pick any more stuff up. I'm sort of gonna, I don't know, I went through this whole kick of anything that's like brochures that are free, that are advertising material. Oh, I like this image. I like that very much. Don't like how the A is over here, but I can work with that. Went through this phase and sort of still doing it, but not as much as any brochures that I walked past I would grab a couple of. I suppose we do that when we start a new craft or a hobby. We go out and buy or go out and collect just about anything. I like this image here. This is probably the smallest I'd take, which is probably about 3 centimeters. I don't do a lot of smaller work, but I can easily take images like this and enlarge them on my computer as well. So yeah, as I was saying, I would grab just about anything. Alexis and I would keep an eye out for brochures and things when we go to Melbourne and stuff, and this is probably where this one come from, and just bring a lot of stuff home, and then it sort of sat there and it didn't get used. So I thought this year, right, it's my year to get organised. I have a lot of stuff and I'm just simply not using it, and I'm just storing it, and there's no point in storing it. So this one doesn't have much left in it. Hopefully this is not too boring for you, a video. I thought I would do a bit of a chatty one. As you can see, I do flip through these quite quickly because I can sort of see they're all small images. Oh, this has caught my eye, so the tree has caught my eye. I am somehow going to store these smaller images differently, like these ones will all be stored together, and sort of the half size or the big size ones. I'm not sure how I'm going to store them, whether I'm going to do like manila folders where they just sit in, or whether I'm going to do plastic pockets. I'm going to check around to see what I've got in my house, because I don't really want to go and spend money on storage. So this is just at the back information. These are really thin pages, so they're sort of flopping around everywhere. Now map, not so good. Nothing really stands out for you for that page. So on to the next one. So that's one gone. So out of that big flat book, I've saved not much at all. I've saved 1, 2, 3 full pages, a couple of borders, and a couple of small pieces. So this is going to be so much easier to store than having that big book, and so much easier to flip through, hopefully. So this is a child magazine that you get in Melbourne. Just having a drink. So I've just spotted on this page some animals here. So I do use a fair bit of animals in my work, and as I said, I will possibly include some of these in racks and swaps and things for people that are working on albums or doing things. Now this one's quite a big book, so this huge image here, even though it's very cute, I would never ever use. And sorry about if you can hear the thunder. So just going through this again quite quickly, if I can open the pages. It's very hot and steamy here at the moment. So this I will take. Hang on, I've got something on this page. So I like this image here. So again, I've got 3 pages together, and I'm just going to cut the whole 3 of them. Because sometimes with these thinner pages, as I said, it's easy to cut all of them. So we just throw all that out now. And I've got this image. I've left this white space in case I want it that big, but I sort of like that. That's kind of cool. That would be nice to enlarge, if I can enlarge it, and then I can paint it and do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So I want to grab this animal one. Back on the back. So I might take the cow as well. That's kind of funky, and sometimes I do things that are quite funky and weird, because that's kind of me, or I'll send them to weird friends. So watch out. If you're one of my subbies and you get sent something, you might get sent some weird things. Of course I'll ask you if you use weird things. But sometimes in art journaling and that, I like the weirder things. Makes it really comical. So nothing really on this page. I'll grab these. Hang on, I'm flipping over this page. I like the ballerinas, but really these are a bit small. These really can't cut out, so unfortunately they're not going to make the grade. But I will take these. Oh, what's this? School's in. I do like this graphic up here. So it's great how, I'll just cut this off. Sometimes it's frustrating when there's two good images on the one page, but I've cut this here, so we've got the penguins, the whales, possibly it's small. I'll possibly use this. The sea lions are cute. And then on the top of the reverse one is this image here, so I'm going to trim this one down just a tad. So art journaling doesn't necessarily need to be expensive. There is so much free stuff available. Now this is really cool, even though I don't play, I can't remember the name of that. I never had one of these growing up, but that's kind of cool. Be good for a boys album, but I don't do boys. Okay, so going through, we've got lots of small advertisement type things. Sometimes the advertisements have really cool stuff on them. Sometimes they don't. Now this is pretty. Oh, can you hear the thunder? How rude the thunder is interrupting my video. I have to retape it. Oh, I can't put the books back together. I was going to say retape it if it gets too loud. This is really cool, but I just don't know how I'm going to use it. So because I've got an abundance, I don't keep stuff unless it really sort of talks to me. So just flipping through. No. Now this bunny is really cute. I think Alexis would like him, so I'll cut him out. So he's very cute. And I am collecting bunnies for a book for Alexis. Now this is cute, but it's not real defined and not sort of what I'm looking for. This is cute here. I've got a few friends that really like Disney, so anything like that I will put aside to either make them something or to send them. Alexis might like that one as well. So what have we got here? Let's go through the last few pages. As you get to the back pages, they are all loose, so it makes it a bit easier to flip through. Nothing else takes my fancy from that one, so we'll move on to the next one. So this one caught my eye. I love this front page. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, but we're going to keep that. I prefer these pages as opposed to these pages. I'm not sure whether you're going to pick it up. Oh yeah, you are. Shiny, flat. I prefer the flat ones, but I will take the shiny ones as well. But that's got really potential. What's got on the back? None of the boring stuff. Okay, that thunder is getting louder. Can anyone hear that thunder? It's getting very loud. What I might do is just put these books aside because it's getting a bit hard to actually have this one flat. Oh, now this, I love this. This is really cool. I love this font too, and the font's small enough, not small, small enough you can use. It's separated enough so I can cut them out. So I'm going to keep that whole page actually. Usually I would just cut out this face, but I do like this type here. And here comes some more rain. Okay. Sorry about all the ripping. That page doesn't have anything on it. Now this page, I like her, but she's not really speaking to me that much, so she's not going to come out of the book. Now this is cute, this mermaid and this bit, so I'm going to grab that. Just checking on the back to see if there's anything on the back. Sometimes I'm attracted by the colour, sometimes I'm attracted by the image, sometimes, I don't know, I like the mermaids and the tail. I may use that in some way. I will go through these images again when I'm putting them in my folders, and if they don't speak to me after a while, I will get rid of them. Now, even though I said I don't take small ones, this is really cool. This image here, it's probably the smallest I'm going to take, so I'm actually going to take that image. I would like to get, these would be great for ATCs and things, and I don't do a lot of that, but I'd like to get into it a little bit. My box for the rubbish is nearly getting full. Now, let's see what's on this page. I like this image, so we're going to take that. Now this page, I think we're going to take the whole page. I like the balls. We're going to take the whole page of that and pop that aside. So this is very similar to the front. So this is obviously a different take on that. So we're going to take, I like how half his face is missing. So we're going to take that. What else have we got? This is beautiful colours, but not really interesting. That's interesting, but I don't think I'd ever use it. And the chains aren't good enough to cut out. Oh, I like this. This pinky image on the top is quite cool. Again, that'd be nice on an ATC or a iCard, index card. Proud to be just a little a bit different. I will take this because usually I don't do words at the moment, but I just love those words. They're really cool. And that's a quote you could use on its own. I often do mixed quotes from different magazines and cut different words out, but that one's you could use all on its own. There's Wonder Woman. I'll take that for to go with those Disney ones. I didn't check the back. Oh, there's a rabbit. Nearly missed the rabbit. We'll take the rabbit. So I sort of just roughly cut them out. I'm not being too precise. I will be a bit more precise when I go to use them on my page. Nothing really jumps in this page. Now these hands, even though they're representing, I think the rainbow represents gay and lesbian people, I do like the hands and the shape. So I will take that, whether I use it as rainbows or whether I repaint over them. And I'm sorry if there's a lot of paper noise going. Nothing really there. About this one. Nothing really there. Nothing really there. Nothing there. Oh, okay. And I will take this because I believe that is a picture of Andy Warhol, so I will take that because I do like him as an artist. He was one of the artists I studied in Year 12 and I really like his work. So that is the second magazine done. And how are we going for time? I cannot read that from where I'm sitting. Let me jump up for a second and stretch my legs. So that's 2 magazines done in about 20 minutes. I am slowing down a bit and explaining to you what I'm doing. Usually it's something I'll sit and do in front of the television. So this one's my Switzerland. So a few years ago, inspired by Shannon Green, when En Masse journals come into fashion, I sent away for a lot of travel brochures. And you can sort of Google free printed travel brochures and a lot of places will send them out in the mail. Even from America and stuff, it was really cool. So I love this. This is really cool. I can see myself cutting that out and using that on something. I do apologise if the rain gets too heavy. I will have to pause the video. So just going through, I like the paper in this one. It's the non-shiny paper. So just going through. So unfortunately you can't use any of these because there's like numbers in the middle of them, which is really frustrating. Or there's words in the front of things. I'm going to have to pause you there because can you hear the loud noise? That's rain on my roof. I'll come back when it stopped raining. So I'm back. Let's see if I can get this finished before the thunderstorm hits again. So it's been about half an hour. It's pelted with rain, it's lightning, it's thundered. So where were we? So not those pictures. Sometimes I do take these full pictures, but that one really doesn't speak to me. Sometimes I'll collage things over the top of them. I do like this image here. And I do like this one as well. And come to think, I do like this grey one as well. So I could have left that page whole. Oops. Oh, it sounds like the thunder's coming back. I do like the dog in this image. It's a full one, but it doesn't really have potential. The full ones I'm looking for are more scenery ones that I can add things to or that have a particular interest. Nothing there. Nothing on that one. This is a particularly loud book. Oh, it's particularly hard. Now I do like those two, so I'll probably keep those together. I do like this. Whether I use it as an actual embellishment piece or whether I get inspiration from the colours or the way it's sort of cubed off, I'm not sure. Those ones, no. No. As you tend to get more images in your image binders, you get a lot more picky with what you take and what you leave, because obviously if you've got a lot, then you're only looking for things that spark your interest or catch your eye a bit more. Nothing there catches my eye. This one does because it's a skeleton. Excuse the noise. This one's particularly hard to get ripped out of the book. Now, the 4 pages I'm ripping out, I could keep and sort of gel print on or paint over, but I've got an abundance of paper. I don't really need any more. But if you were short on paper, these would make great pieces of paper to do like painted papers on or backgrounds on. But I do have an abundance of paper. I do like the map. I'll keep the map. That could even go into a journal, like a junk journal. That would look really cool, like a travel junk journal if you're going to Switzerland, or even not. That would look really cool. It's nice thick paper too. So that one's gone. 2 more books left. We'll see if we can get them done before my video cuts out. Discover LC Education. So this one's an education one. Looks like a university or something. So we'll see what we get out of it. Thinking about higher education. Now I do particularly like this. Whoops. Now that I've ripped it, I won't be taking it. I should have cut that one. I did like this image here, but I've ripped into it, so I will put it in the bin. Learn next time, don't rip things. I do like this jumping man in the Spider-Man uniform. He's got a lot of potential. I like that there's nothing around him and he's in a good pose, so I could do quite a bit with him. And I do work in different size journals, so I am working in a smaller size journal this year and a large one. So I'm looking for sort of the whole gamut of sizes. So I do like her face, so I will take her face. Sometimes I put different faces on different bodies, just depends on what sort of mood I'm into. I have had a bit of a spell from art journaling lately, the last part of last year, and I really want to get back into it. So again, I like this screaming picture. I told you I like weird things. So nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. Oh, postcard. This is cool. Study. That's cool. I like all the twines on it, and that's really cool. So I'll keep that. Now we'll go into this full brochure. Nothing really, like these are good little images, but nothing really jumping out. And what I use, if you're a person that did a lot of smaller, like collage and stuff, you may want to work with them. Now this is really cool here, but again, it's weird shape. It's going to be hard to use. So I don't think there's going to be much in this one that I actually take out. Except I do like this up here. So I'll take this bit. So the best advice I can give when you're doing this is have a big rubbish bin beside you, or I've got a big plastic tub and I'm just dumping it full, and looking at it, it's about 3/4 full. So it's probably getting to that height where I should take it out to the bin, because it's getting quite heavy. So this one I haven't kept much of. Some people will use these as like an actual art journal. This glossy stuff is not real good, but the ones that are not glossy, you could glue pages together. Now let's see how much we get out of this one. This is like 1 centimetre thick. Wow, that's massive. Sorry, just double checking I am recording, yes. So I like the Eiffel Tower. I could do something with that. A lot of the times I don't keep the covers because they're quite thick, but I do like the Eiffel Tower. And I do like this collection of stuff as well. So let's go through and see what is this Great Wall of China. That's interesting. So we will keep the Great Wall of China. Oh, excuse me. All this rain and wind is kicking up dust and pollen in the air at the moment. So this particular one, it's nice, but don't see myself doing anything with it. These costumes I love. That's just really cool and colourful. So I'll keep that. I like the fireworks. This one I might be pulling a lot out of. I like the telephone boxes. Just get rid of that one. Now, sometimes I keep things like this, but not sort of the buildings. Sometimes I will take trains, and I've been collecting trains and planes and stuff, but this one cuts over 2 pages, which really irritates me when people do that. And if I just took that bit, it's not really interesting, so I'll leave that one. He's not really interesting, can't really do much with him. The bus I will take because I'm collecting sort of transporty stuff. And this old photo is quite nice too, so I will take that. Whoops. The only problem is I don't like how they put this green thing on it and it cuts some of the photo off, but we'll work with that. Oh, another Eiffel Tower. I've actually been to Paris, which was really cool in my 20s. Spent a few days in Paris. It could have been a week, I have no idea now. I was in my 20s and I'm not in my 20s anymore. So just going through, sorry, trying to keep in frame. Nothing on that page. Nothing on that page. So these are great brochures if you're actually doing a travel album or doing a where I want to travel. It's great to get images from. This particular one doesn't have a lot going through this particular part. Interesting, but not that interesting. The lemons are quite interesting, but I don't think I'd use them. Every about 5 or 6 pages that I don't take out. Oh wow, this is really cool. I tend to rip off because it just gets easier than getting a lot. Like it's easier than getting 20 pages there. I do like this. Sometimes I like to cut out weird things and collage them, and I can see that being something I'd use. We'll take the piano because I haven't put a collection together of musical stuff. Even though I'm not really into musical stuff, I may have a prompt or may have an idea where I need musical stuff in the near future. Oh, I may have friends that wanting to put together a musical album and or a junk journal, and I can pass them on. So as you can see, this one I'm sort of scanning pretty quickly. I like the boat. That could be really cool. As you can see there, I've cut like 3 or 4 pages, and I basically pull off the one I want and scrap the rest because it's a bit quicker doing it that way. 1, 2. Ooh, I like the gravestones. That would be really cool for Halloween. I know I'm a bit morbid. Oh, more rain. Bad day to do video filming. If this video cuts off, I can't see how many minutes I've got left. If it cuts off abruptly, I do apologise. Let me just stand up for a minute. I've got 6 minutes left. So if it abruptly cuts off in mid-sentence, you know why. My camera doesn't give me much time. Let's see if we can get this one done in 6 minutes. So you can be quite quick and sort of scan your eye over the page and decide, I'm trying to stay in frame, here we go, if you want anything. This is quite cool, so I will take that. So you can cut these sort of as you go, or you can make a pile of your full pages and then go back and cut them if you only want bits, or you can store them just in full pages. It's up to you. It just depends on how you want to store your images. So just going through. Again, I like this art tray. I think I could make use of that. I like doing collage, weird collage for magazines, and I want to get, I've done a bit of it in the past and I want to get back into it a bit more, but I've got to have sort of a fair few images there that I can pull from, because going through, I've sort of paused at this one. Going through magazines to find your collage images is a bit boring when you want to collage. Yeah, I sort of paused at this one, but this one has a bit of potential, and this other one I cut out. Where's the round one? And this one, so I can cut that into a round circle. I got that arch. That's a really witty angle, even though it's a nice picture. So often I'll use different pieces as body parts, or might cut out the arch and have someone standing in it, or I don't know. But I do want to get back. I do love the statues. I believe that's the statue of David. Is it? Michelangelo's David. Oh, my schooling has come to fruition. I can recognise a statue. I studied art at school. I think I've actually seen the statue of David. I was collecting horses and stuff, but that's sort of not enough to use. So just going through this quickly. I like this. I like the colours and stuff, but again, a bit hard to use. So just flipping through. Sorry about the glare on the glossy paper. So as you can tell, this one was a centimetre thick, and I've taken probably about 5 or 10 pages out, but I haven't, like a lot of these pages are just not in an interest to me. They may be of interest to someone else, and you're probably seeing pictures there and going, oh, I'd use that, I'd use that. So you can Google on the internet free travel brochures, and it does take a bit of time to sort of fool around and get where you can send them from, and you just basically put your name and address in, and postal address, and they send them out to you, which is really cool. And often these ones come from America or England. That was really cool too. And you can, this one I can keep. So this one's a 4-page one. I do like these ones because what I can do is use this as a base and stick stuff on top of it to make it really weird. One of my subscribers does that, and she does an awesome job, and I can't think of her name. I think it's Sonia's Mixed Media Art Time, or Sonia's Mixed Media. If I can find her channel, I will link it below. Oh, I like these people. She does these amazing collages, and I sort of want to get into doing that. And then she coordinates paint with them and stuff, and it just looks really, really cool. I'm a bit of an eclectic artist. I will have a go at anything I like the look of. I love this here, but it's too cut off, like it's too square. It'd be nice if it was round. Some brochures and particular leaflets are better than others. Some have really good, sorry, trying to stay in frame. Some have really good graphics, some don't. It's just the luck of the draw what you get. Oh, I really like this. For some particular reason, that really spoke to me. So I will share some of these collages when I do them. I'm wanting to do a few more of them this year, 2019. Okay, let me see here. No, but this page might have potential. I really like this. I like this, but I'd love it if the people weren't there. There's really no way of taking the people off it and losing too much. Sometimes I love the image and it's just not doable, oh, I love this one. Not collage worthy. Now I can see myself cutting out these cherub statues. So this one and this one will come out quite nicely from the background. And I think this one as well. That one, nah, it's not looking as nice. This one has potential, like a Titanic. I've just read it's got Titanic, so I don't want that anymore. Oh, I like these. These are definitely must have. Aren't these gorgeous? I think these are going to be scanned before they're used. That is just awesome. I can see myself using that. And this one I'll take, even though it's not a full mask, I can cut out the centre of the mask for her face. Let's see, all these have potential. I just like the arches. Oh, and we've got statues on the back, so we'll take that. Oh, we've got to have a big van. So I thought I wrote this magazine off, and then all of a sudden we've got some really cool images. Now I do like that. So I've just come back. That abruptly cut off the video. My camera does that, doesn't give me any warning. So this is what I've got left out of those 5 or 6 books I took apart. I think it was 5 or 6. So this is a lot more manageable to store, and it's going to be a lot easier to go through. And once I've got them sorted into sections, I will come back and show you that as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to display them yet, or put them into, well, I'm going to store them in, because obviously some of them, I was thinking like A4 plastic pockets. Yeah, that's great for these, but these ones won't fit in, so I don't know, and I don't particularly want to fold them if I don't have to. So I may store the big ones in something else and the small ones in something else. I'm not quite sure yet. So I thought we would do just a couple more, because it's kind of a bit addictive when you do start. So I'm just grabbing another pile. I got quite a pile of these. So I am keeping the envelopes. Often the envelopes have like security envelope on the inside. These ones particularly white, but I will keep these because they're nice and thick, and I will open them up and turn them into journals or paint with them. So I do keep the envelopes. Oh, that's pretty. I will keep that. This one's Russia. That should be interesting. Hopefully our thunder and lightning's gone for now. So again, this one's skiing. That's the envelope gone. What's this? That's just my address label. Switzerland. I might just sit here and do a couple more with you. So some of them you got big brochures in, you got little brochures in. It just depended on what they sent out. What's this? So this is a map. So I've got a spot for all these sort of smaller ones that I've picked up. So I'm storing those all somewhere separate at the moment. So I'll get rid of that. What's this? What's this? Nothing's really jumping out on this side. Oh, except for some bears. Let's take the bears. Oops. Thank goodness that rain has actually dropped the temperature a bit, so it's a bit cooler here. It's not as hot and muggy. I do like this girl in the black and white. She's a nice size to do something with. So just checking the rest of that brochure, and I will get rid of that. Sound of Music. I do like this Sound of Music at the front, so I'll keep that page. Oh, these have some cool black and white images, so I'm going to keep the black and white images. This one doesn't appeal to me as much. I don't particularly like that one, but I do like those black and white images. Getting a bit more into vintage. I'm a bit more of a modern sort of like, a bit more colourful than straight vintage, but I'll try my hand at anything. So nothing on those ones. Nothing on there. So I'll go to the next little bit of brochure. So sometimes you get really good images in them, sometimes you don't. It's a bit of potluck. As I said, you could keep these and use them actually as... Ooh, I like this. I don't know whether I'll take that. Yeah, that could come in handy. As I said, you can take this whole book and glue a couple of pages together and actually work in it as an art journal. I've got loads of old books to work in, so I don't need stuff like that at the moment. This is cool, this tap. And that's cool on the back. So that tap's cool, and I like this image here too. Not sure, that one's not really speaking to me. So that one's done. So some of them go through quite quickly. Okay, what's this? This is a big map, so that will come in handy. So I'll put that aside separately. Austria. Not sure. I know I went to Switzerland when I was travelling. I'm not sure. I think I've actually had this one before. I don't recognise these pictures. So I definitely want that. Except the shadow. I don't. No, I won't have that one. So something like this is nice. This full page image, and I could see myself collaging with that. This one, unfortunately, the people are in the way. It's a bit hard to cover up, so I do like the ones that don't have people or that in. This one's quite nice. Even though it's got people in it, it's got small people in it. So grab that one. That one's quite cool with the water. So I'm sure I could do something with that. Oh, I like the pumpkins. That would be cool in a Halloween album. So we'll take the pumpkins. This is rather cool, this image down here with these. That would be fun to cut out and use as something. And I like this with the half face as well, so we're going to keep this. We're going to keep the cover. So we'll do these three. Anxious to get this Russia one. Let's do that next because it should have some cool images in it. Hopefully. So you can also get these from travel agents as well, but I find sending away from them a bit more eager to give you them. I've gone into my travel agent and they sort of only give you one or two, which is a bit of a pain when you're after a few. Sometimes I'll ask for ones that are out of date. Often they'll have catalogues that are, like they've got prices in them and they're out of date, or they've had new ones, so sometimes they have ones at the back they can give you as well. So it doesn't hurt to ask. What's the worst they'll say is no. But this one doesn't actually have a lot of potential in it. I thought it would for Russia. I thought there'd be cool pictures in it. No, not finding much of interest. Which is a bit disappointing. A lot of these when they come in, I've had a lot of these a couple of years, and a lot of them I didn't even look through when they come in because I was getting like 3 or 4 packets a day. My local guy at the post office thought I was going travelling, which was quite funny. I said no, I'm just collecting them for art. So Switzerland. Oh, I do like that picture. So this one I like the paper better because it's flat. It's not so glossy. Oh, I do like that. Oh, except it's harder to tear out. I like the headpiece down here. And I would take the cutlery if it was a full piece, but they're not actually full pieces. So if I was going to keep full pages to do the, like the painting on painted papers and stuff, I would keep these ones that are not shiny. But I have huge amounts of paper that I don't need to keep anymore. That popcorn's fun. I'm going to grab the popcorn. Oh, I love chocolate. So unfortunately I love chocolate and the popcorn. You can sort of hold them up and see through where they are part of the one piece. So I'm just going to cut the popcorn bigger and then I can decide later on if I'm going to use it as the popcorn or the chocolate. It's frustrating when there's several pages in the book you don't like and then you get one that you Enchanted Journey. I will keep that and I'll take this side as well. And then there's a couple of images on the same paper side by side. I do have the option then of scanning them if I want to. That's really nice. That's really cool. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful too. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. Is this book filled with? This book will be keeping quite a lot of, because I do like a lot of these big full pages that I can do collages on. And I do apologise if this tearing is annoying you. Get rid of those ones. Oh, that's cute, the cow. Unfortunately, it's got the gate and things, so it's not good to separate. I will keep the car because I'm collecting cars and transport things at the moment. Hang on a moment, I'll just pause. Back to our scheduled program. No, I just had Alexis had to come down and wanted some help with some work she was doing. So back to it, we'll just finish off these couple. So this particular one I like, so I'll just get rid of that one. This is nice with the reflection, and this is nice with the building too. I think we're coming to a bunch of nice ones. That, I'm going to keep that for the end anyway. We'll see what's on the back of this one. This one, I don't know. It's very busy. Don't think so. That'd be good for aeroplane only. My box is nearly full, so it's time to stop. I like this page, but I don't like the words. I wish that page was on there. No, we'll leave that. Oh, okay, we do like these ones. So that one's got a lot of potential. And this one's really cool too. And I like that one. Oh, and I like these ones. So I'm going to keep all of those ones. This one we're actually keeping a fair bit out of. Just having a look at this little wood thing, looks interesting. So it really depends on what you're harvesting out of your books is what you do. I do a lot of varied stuff, so I will look for things that will suit a variety of tasks. Like this helmet will look good on a person. So I do a lot of like mixed media collages. I do a lot of art journal pages. I'm starting in junk journals as well. Some of these will be quite cool in junk journals. So it depends on what you like as to what you're going to take from your books. And keep in mind when you're going through a book what your friends like as well, because you could always include bits in Happy Mail. I've got one particular YouTube friend that loves birds, so anything with birds on it I have been putting aside, and I will use some, and then when I've got too many, the birds might fly to a new home. So that's a nice map. That would be even nice in a junk journal, because you could cover that up and you cut it real straight. That's alright. So the last one for this video. So this one's a skiing one, so this should be interesting. It's got too much text on it. One's not big enough. Helicopter's kind of cool. So again, this is a glossy one. I'll just cut the helicopter off here. I sometimes like to keep them a bit bigger than, I could just cut the helicopter there, but then this space I might use as well. This one would make a nice scene. So we'll cut that bit off. I actually haven't requested brochures for a while. I might go back and do it again and might get different brochures, which would be really cool. You can never have, as I say that, I'm trying to get rid of images, but once I get all the ones processed that I've got or gone through, then I've got a bit more room. And as I said, I'm going to start a box when stuff comes into the house. It's going to go in the box, and when the box is full, I have to, or before the box is full, I have to sit down and go through the box, and then I can bring other stuff into the house. I'd love to be a minimalist, but it's a bit hard when you're a crafter. You sort of, this is nice, so we'll grab that one. So as you can see, you can get varied ones. Like this is Canada, so you're going to get a lot of snow and stuff. You can get African brochures. Basically any country that is popular with travel do up these coloured brochures. And they still do them in these day and age. You've just got to Google on the internet to find where to request them from. This is nice too. And often I was using, I have a PO box, so I was also using a street address and a PO box to request them from, because sometimes when you're requesting you can select from amount of brochures they've got, and if you select too many then they won't send them to you. So if they've got a selection of 20 brochures, you can't select and say I want one of each of the 20. Probably up to about 3 or 4 is their limit. So what I did was I kept a list of the websites and the ones I requested, and then a couple of weeks later I went back in and requested some more, or used a different address. This one's quite good, except the skier's in the wrong spot and takes up too much of the page. Sort of when I'm looking for these ones, I'm looking for mainly scenery and a little bit I can cover up, but some of them are a bit more harder to cover up than others. So the last couple of pages of this one. So I hope you have enjoyed spending time with me and harvesting some of the images. So this is the pile I'm left with. So I've probably started with about 2 inches of material, and I've nutted it down to this much, which is possibly about 1.5 centimetres tall. So I have considerably culled down what I'm going to keep. And when I'm flipping through these, every image is one that I'm going to use eventually in something. I'm not flipping through a lot of stuff that I'd never use, if that makes sense. So it's easier to go through and pick a few things for collage. You don't have to flip through like 20 magazines to find what you're looking for. So I will leave it there and hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you do something similar with your magazines, or do you keep your magazines full? I have quite a few like Bazaar and Vogue and those sort of magazines that I'm keeping full at this stage. I'm just going through my sort of travel ones and ones I've picked up for free at the moment, and then I will move on to those other magazines as well. But I take different stuff out of there, so I may do a video on that as well. Let me know if you enjoyed my video and if you are organising your stuff this year. So by the end of the year I should be all organised. Maybe. Bye for now.